Now, in the human, we expect to find 3 branches off the top of the aortic arch. In the cat, we're only looking for 2. Humans have the first branch, the first major branch here being brachiocephalic. In cats, it's actually called the innominate artery, but we're going to go ahead and call it brachiocephalic in the cat anyway, simply because that makes it more relatable to humans. So you can call this cat brachiocephalic. Now, the human brachiocephalic has which 2 branches?
Left common carotid
Right.
and left subclavian.
The right common carotid and the right subclavian. So here we're on the right side. So normally we'd expect to see right common carotid, right subclavian, or right subclavian, right common carotid. But in the cat, we also have the left common carotid also coming off the innominate, or now brachiocephalic artery. So we could say brachiocephalic artery, right subclavian, right common carotid, left common carotid. And the left subclavian branches here by itself, so it's the second branch off the aortic arch. Now, if we say aortic arch, we can go, look at those 3, but what's the first branch off of anyone's aorta before that?
The inferiors. No.
What does the heart always? What does the heart always feed first? Itself, coronary arteries. So if we looked all the way down here, and we're probably not going to see it, but oh yeah, right there, right there. That is a coronary artery.
The little blue?
No, well, the blue and the red, and the red is the artery. And that is going to be a very, very small right coronary artery. Now, we would never point that out, but it's nice that we can see it. This guy right here is anterior interventricular. There's right ventricle, there's left ventricle. So anyway, let's carry out that the aorta some more. So coming off of our brachiocephalic trunk, we're now going to have our subclavian arteries. Here's the right subclavian. Subclavian has 4 branches that you need to look for. We've got 3 going this way and 1 going down like this. The 3 in this order are going to be different also, whether you're looking at a human or a cat. So, cat first. Cat is V, C, T. Because in the word cat, C comes before T, and in the mnemonic, C comes before T.
And human is BTC.
Correct. So anyway, here is vertebral, which has been broken off. There is costocervical trunk, right there. And there's thyrocervical trunk, right there. So, vertebral, broken, costocervical, thyrocervical. This one running down into the chest is internal thoracic. So, moving then out along the subclavian, we then come to the border of the first rib, which is right here, because you can see the chest wall. At the border of the first rib, we change over to axillary. So this is now the blood vessel in the armpit, and axillary is going to be right there. Now, the borderline that we are going to use in this class is going to be the surgical head of the humerus, which should be right about there.
And then switches to brachial.
And now we switch from axillary to brachial.
And then there's a deep brachial.
There is a deep brachial in the cat. It's actually going to branch really, really low down, and it's broken, but it's probably this one right here.
So it's hard to see usually.
Well, not always hard to see, but it branches further down, like in the middle of the arm.
Okay.
Let's look for it like this side. Let's see if it's broken here. Yeah. Apparently, it would be too much to ask for a non-broken.
Yeah, that's one of mine.
Okay, well, we'll do arms on another cat then, so we'll forget about this cat's arms, and let's look at the neck instead, see if this is any good. Oh yeah, I do like the neck. Alright.
Should have brought my charger.
Okay, so here are your common carotids. There's left and there's right. Let's look at the left since it's more well cut. So that common carotid, oh, and there's a nerve running right next to it. What nerve runs next to the common carotid? What nerves did you always guess if you're not sure?
Vagus.
5.
Vagus.
Oh, because it goes to the heart.
5 is thicker, but 10 is bigger. So anyway, this is your common carotid, and right here, we're going to split into external carotid, and all the way down there, this tiny one right there, internal carotid. So internal, all of that's external. And the external, of course, has several different branches. First one is usually superior thyroid, which is broken. I think that would have been this one, though, going to the thyroid gland right there. The next branch is usually lingual, and then facial. And facial, you can always tell because it's always running right over the body of the jaw, like right here. So, lingual, facial, don't worry about it. Superficial temporal, and then this guy coming back this way.
Which one is the superficial temporal? Okay.
That one. And then the one just behind it. There. That's going to be posterior auricular. It's the one that's right behind the auricle of the ear. And then branching off posterior auricular, somewhere in the back you'll have occipital as well. But we're not going to see that at the moment. So now we look at our jugulars. So we've got the carotid artery bringing blood up, and we've got jugular veins bringing blood down from the head. This jugular in particular is a cat-only jugular. Transverse jugular. Now we actually say cat-only, but there are actually people that have it too. They're just variants. Some people do have transverse jugulars. Cats, however, do not have anterior jugulars. We also have anterior jugulars. So if you look at a human, you've got three different jugulars. You've got an anterior jugular coming down here and there. And you've got your internal jugular right there, and an external jugular just laterally to it usually. So the average person has 6 different jugulars. They've got left and right and then 3 each.
So the transverse one was right here.
Right, so there's transverse jugular.
Oh, okay.
Now remember that in the cat, there's actually more muscle on the outside of the head than there is brain on the inside of the head. Cats aren't, ever known for being smart. So what we're looking for is a big external carotid and a big external jugular, and small internal carotid, small internal jugular. So if you looked at this and you were thinking in terms of human, I'd expect you to say internal carotid, but it's not. This is a cat, so this is external. So this is yeah, you're right. Sorry, just kidding. External jugular right here. So now, where they come in and touch the subclavian, that's still going to be the same. So we still see internal carotid's medial, external is lateral. So here's our external carotid. Now I should be able to find an insertion point
Internal?
for internal carotid. I don't see it, but I should expect to find it somewhere right around here. This is not it because this is inferior thyroid. So this is bringing blood from the thyroid back down. So I don't see anything that I could tag as internal jugular at the moment. Actually, the reason is probably because this is it right here. This is a normal variation. Some people have internal jugular, external jugular, and then they come together and you get what's called, a common jugular, if you will. Not all that common, but it's a normal variation. So this cat probably just has that variation right there. On other cats, you will see external jugular there, internal jugular right about here. So anyway, jugular vein plus subclavian vein equals brachiocephalic vein. Brachiocephalic vein plus brachiocephalic vein equals superior vena cava. And superior vena cava you can see would plug in right there.
It connects to that, just this cut.
Right. And then right here, we'll roll that way real quick. See this vein running, you can see the entire chest cavity. There's no vein on the left there, but there is a vein on the right here. This is an asymmetric vein. It's called the azygos, and azygos means asymmetrical. So there's your azygos vein. It's going to drain the right intercostal veins and bring it back into there. The left intercostal veins just have to go to the internal thoracic vein. So, and there's your internal thoracic vein on this side as well. Let's take a look at this side real quick. This side actually isn't too bad. Well, this right here is probably the profunda brachii. That would just come off right there. So, like I said, about halfway down the arm. All these nerves right here are called brachial plexus.